Back in September, I did a video titled MIR4 is the worst new MMORPG release of 2021. Admittedly, and I really have absolutely no issue here admitting when I'm wrong or where I'm at fault, I did not put remotely close to enough time into the game to be able to make that kind of statement, especially given that I was actually unaware that you could earn real money from the game at the time, which seems to be the main attraction for many players and the main source of its success. However, as of today, December 22nd, I have been playing it every single day since the middle of October, almost 2 entire months, so that I can do an updated video with my updated thoughts and my updated impressions on it to address the game and, if necessary, retract my statement if I was wrong. So, after 2 entire months spent in the game, what have I learned? MIR4 is a very deep, very complex, contrastingly different type of MMORPG than we're used to. That is what I'd like to say. The reality of it is, however, that MIR4 is a laughably mediocre mobile game with a horrendous PC port. The first few days that I spent in the game weren't bad. I autopathed from objective to objective. I was required to click to complete quests and further the story. The game autoplayed for me. It engaged enemies in auto combat. It was the very definition of a mobile game. When I mentioned this in my very first video, I received countless comments saying, "Try saying that again above level 40, lol." And you know what? I am currently making my way to level 45 as of today, and I can say with 100% certainty, with the exception of story-related boss fights, the game is still auto-playable. Maybe it's because I have a higher combat power than I'm supposed to at this level. I did spend about $100 in-game to get currency, to purchase much better gear from the marketplace. That wasn't because I was having difficulty with encounters though, but rather my dailies were taking me too long to complete. What MIR4 is, essentially, is a daily simulator. You have a set number of dailies that you can auto-complete per day, 30 to be specific. With each quest being repeatable 3 times, it provides the option of taking and completing 10 daily quests per day. From what I've gathered by not only playing but also speaking to other players, people just take the Dark Steel quest to maximize the amount of Dark Steel that they can earn per day. As noted earlier, the main appeal of MIR4 is the fact that you can actually make real life money by playing the game, and I use the term playing here very loosely. You can either mine Dark Steel or you can acquire it via other means like dailies. You can then exchange the Dark Steel that you farmed and bam, it's essentially a job now. People actually run multiple different accounts simultaneously to maximize the amount of money that they can earn per day, which admittedly I still have some difficulty wrapping my head around. All of this is once again done on autopilot. You can take all 10 repeatable daily missions, you set yourself to auto farm the monsters, and then you come back a couple hours later to reap the rewards, all the while likely playing much better alternative games. So when I noted in my very first video on MIR4 that everything was autopilot, I had a lot of people complain. On the one hand, they complained that I hadn't delved deeply enough into the game to fully grasp the true difficulty that it provides, and that after level 40, I'd really quote unquote feel it. After hitting level 44, I do not in any way feel any rapid increase in difficulty. I'm fully expecting players to now go into the comment section and say that level 40 wasn't high enough to experience the difficulty and that I need to hit some new magic number to justify their defense of this game. They argue that this game is actually an incredible game because you can make money off of it. So let's discuss that for a moment then. Yes, you can actually make money off of this game, but if an MMO, if a game is an atrocious experience without the ability to make money off of it, introducing a way to make money off of the game does not suddenly make the game a great game. On the contrary, it's just as bad as before. The only difference is now you have some kind of motivation to play it. It doesn't matter if you could make $1 million per year playing this game. One single aspect of the game would be good, but a single positive facet of a game does not then suddenly make a game good. If everything else is terrible, it's still a terrible game. Sure, some people make $100 per day off of MIR4, but you know what their argument was? I'd log in and set the game to farm for me, earning X amount of dollars per day. This is legitimately the argument from all of these quote-unquote players as to why they believe this game is as good as it is. What makes this game good is the fact that you do not have to play the game. In what world does that make a game good? No. This game right here is not even a game. It's an interactive marketplace. That is it. Nobody is playing this game. Hundreds of the comments, hundreds of the people hating on the video I did, calling out how bad the game was, even admitted to this. In 44 levels, in 2 months of playing every day, I can safely say that I have not been more bored dedicating time to play a game. Every morning, I would log in. I would claim my daily premium since I paid for it. I would set my character to accept the 10 most difficult dailies that would reward me with the most Darksteel, and I would then leave the game for a few hours. I would go ahead and I would play something else. I would go ahead and I would get work done. I'd occasionally be required to go back to the town to replenish my stock of MP potions, as admittedly I run out very quickly. But I think that's about as much interaction that I had on a daily basis. Sure, there is a semblance of a story present. I'm not denying that there are actual things to do outside of the Darksteel and combat power grind, but who actually takes the time to do all of that? Again, this is not a good MMORPG. Just because you can make money off of it does not suddenly make it a good MMO. Everything about this game screams atrociously cheap, from the graphics to the combat to the narrative. This is a cheap, rushed piece of garbage that just so happens to allow you to make some money by not playing it. And I know this is going to trigger a lot of fans of the game, because they're going to hear that and then come running to its defense. The more people that play it, after all, the more money they have the potential to make. They do not want this money-making machine to decline. It's easy money. Heck, I am of a high enough level to make money off of trading Darksteel. I've even gone as far as linking my account up just to see how it works. I've chosen not to, however, because I'd rather use it to upgrade my actual gear, but I could just as easily as anyone else. Overall, after having played for 2 entire months thus far, I can say that I was wrong. I was genuinely wrong. A few of the boss fights that I engaged in actually required my attention. It required my input. If I did not dodge the AoEs, I would have died repeatedly. Outside those few boss fights though, the game was complete. Autoplay required no real attention or interaction from me. Yet while I was wrong on that one single aspect of my initial impression of the game, everything else I claimed holds true 2 months later. This is the worst new MMORPG release of 2021. It's worse than Swords of Legends Online. It's worse than PSO2 New Genesis. It's worse than Alliant. Heck, it is worse than Bless Unleashed. If your goal is to play a fun, enjoyable MMORPG, I would strongly urge you to avoid this. If you want to earn some money out of a game, however, then I guess this might be worth looking into, because while this once again is a truly terrible MMORPG, a horrendous example of a game in general, it's not a half bad way to make money off of. Now, with all of this in mind, I do want to note that this is not the end of my time in MIR4. I'm going to continue grinding through this game. I'm going to hit level 45. I'm going to hit level 50. I'm going to continue pushing through this. I am going to continue spending money on it, because I feel like there are going to be countless people that continue to attack every statement I make, and I feel like this game is going to continue to decline further and further and get worse and worse, if at all possible. So I guess with this in mind, I will probably see you guys again a couple months from now.
Someday soon, I'm gonna make it.